Dear Chosen One, have you ever felt the weight of eyes upon you? That unmistakable sensation that someone is watching your every move, analyzing your decisions, waiting for you to fail? The pressure builds, the discomfort grows, the paranoia intensifies until you begin to question your own sanity. I have a revelation for you today. You weren't imagining it. You were being watched this whole time. The opposition you faced wasn't random. The betrayals weren't coincidental. The misunderstandings, the closed doors, the rejection, they were strategic. But here's where everything changes. The watchers weren't who you thought. While earthly eyes observed your struggle, heavenly eyes tracked your faithfulness. When you wept alone in your bedroom, thinking no one saw your tears, God was watching. When you chose integrity despite the cost, God was watching. When you continued to serve despite being overlooked, God was watching. When you praised Him through your pain, God was watching. The ancient wisdom tells us that no attack formed with the intention of destroying you will ultimately succeed. The weapons may form, they may even wound temporarily, but they cannot claim final victory over your destiny. This isn't just spiritual poetry. It's your guaranteed protection as a chosen one. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. This isn't pride speaking, it's purpose. From the moment of your birth, heaven marked you. Your spirit carries a divine fingerprint that both light and darkness can detect. This is why your struggles started early. This is why resistance appeared before you even understood your purpose. The enemy doesn't waste resources on those who pose no threat. Think about it. Why would darkness invest energy into stopping someone who isn't going anywhere? Why would opposition mount against someone with no destiny? The level of warfare you've experienced is directly proportional to the level of impact God designed you to have. Those childhood battles, preparation, those early rejections, protection, those moments when you felt different, distinction. You pulled focus because your light couldn't be dimmed. Your authenticity threatened systems built on falsehood. Your potential alarmed those invested in the status quo. What you perceived as rejection was often recognition of the God in you. The first tier of watchers were human. Family members who didn't understand your calling, friends who grew uncomfortable with your growth, colleagues who competed rather than celebrated. Their eyes watched from a place of limitation, seeing only what threatened their comfort. But humans weren't your primary audience. The second tier was darker. Spiritual forces that recognized your assignment before you did. They watched for patterns, vulnerabilities, moments of doubt. They studied your weaknesses to design customized attacks. They observed your relationships to plant seeds of division. Yet even this watching pales in comparison to the most significant gaze of all. The third tier was divine. God Himself observed your heart. While people judged your actions and demons analyzed your weaknesses, heaven evaluated your faithfulness. God wasn't watching to condemn, He was watching to confirm your readiness for the next level of anointing. God examines the heart while humans focus on outward appearances. The promotion you've been praying for wasn't delayed, it was dependent on this heart development that only God could see and measure. This is why you felt misunderstood even by those closest to you. They could see your actions, but not your heart's motives. They witnessed your struggles, but missed your silent victories. They heard your words, but missed your prayers. If this resonates with your spirit, type, "God sees my heart" in the comments. Declare your freedom from human opinion and align yourself with divine perspective. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Our true battles aren't with people, but with spiritual forces operating through people. This explains why logical solutions sometimes failed to resolve your situations. The unexplainable exhaustion that hit you during seasons of growth, spiritual resistance, the isolation that intensified when you needed connection most, strategic separation, the emotional heaviness that descended without warning, spiritual opposition. The ancient story of a righteous man shows us this truth. His trials weren't random. They were the result of a conversation in the heavenly realm. The enemy had to request permission to test him. God allowed it not to destroy him, but to demonstrate his faithfulness. Your life carries the same significance. The opposition you face first required divine permission. God never permits what he hasn't already equipped you to overcome. This is why, despite everything, you're still standing. This is why, despite attacks, your spirit remains unbroken. This isn't just resilience, it's evidence of divine covering. Angels have been assigned to guard you, especially during seasons of vulnerability. God allows seasons of observation before seasons of elevation. Think about the great leaders in faith history. Before Joseph governed Egypt, he was watched in Potiphar's house and in prison. Before David led a nation, he was watched by Saul and tested in caves. Before Esther saved her people, she was watched during a year of preparation. The fishbowl feeling, that sensation of being examined from all angles, was your training ground. God was watching. How you handled small responsibilities, how you treated people who could offer you nothing, how you responded when no one applauded, whether you remained faithful when misunderstood, if you chose integrity over popularity. These tests weren't punitive. They were preparative. A weak character cannot sustain a strong calling. The pressure was strengthening your spiritual muscles to carry the weight of your coming promotion. If this message finds you, it's because you're entering a new phase. The watching season is giving way to the revealing season. Can you feel the shift? Clarity is replacing confusion. Peace is overtaking anxiety. Discernment has sharpened. Old connections are falling away. New doors are opening quietly. This isn't coincidence, it's convergence. Everything you've endured has prepared you for this moment. The tests you passed in secret are qualifying you for public promotion. Notice how certain relationships are naturally concluding? Not every watcher was meant to witness your elevation. Some were assigned to your testing phase, but not to your triumph. This separation isn't rejection, it's protection. The reverence you feel growing in your spirit is recognition of the sacred transition. Stand tall in it. The watching eyes that once made you uncomfortable are now the evidence of your imminent breakthrough. Guard your spirit. Deliberately. Your energy is too precious to waste on defending yourself against every criticism. Not everyone deserves explanation. Create boundaries around your peace. Limit exposure to environments and people who drain rather than develop you. Deepen your secret place. When you spend time alone with God, human opinion loses its power. Prioritize prayer not as obligation, but as orientation. The more you practice hearing God's voice, the less you'll be swayed by other voices. Move from defense to offense. Stop apologizing for your calling. The watching season trained you in humility. The revealing season requires confidence. Start operating not from who you were, but from who God says you are. Practice radical forgiveness. Release those who watched with wrong motives. Their judgment reflected their limitations, not your value. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconnection. It means freedom from carrying their perspective. Document divine faithfulness. Start recording evidence of God's guidance. The same God who watched over you in trials is watching over your triumph. Create tangible reminders of his faithfulness for the moments when doubt tries to return. Chosen one, hear this clearly. You were never abandoned. You were never overlooked. You were never forgotten. Every tear was seen. Every prayer was heard. Every silent victory was recorded. The watching season is concluding. The revealing season has begun. I declare over your life divine elevation beyond human expectation, spiritual clarity that surpasses natural understanding, God-ordained connections that accelerate your purpose, restoration of confidence in your unique calling, victory over battles others couldn't see you fighting. What tried to stop you has only prepared you. What meant to break you has built you. What intended to discourage you has distinguished you. Chosen ones, you are being watched, not to be destroyed, but to be developed. Not to be humiliated, but to be humble enough to handle honor. Stay faithful. Stay grounded. Stay aligned. Your moment is closer than you think. If this message has strengthened your spirit, share it with another chosen one who needs this revelation. Subscribe to Chosen Path for more messages that empower your journey. Together, we're not just surviving the watching, we're thriving because of it.